Look, if you're not gonna take this seriously, why should I?
Back in 1981, a little movie called Escape from New York came out, directed by John Carpenter, starring Kurt Russell. And this was, at least in your mind, like a really good movie, like
Yes.
a really good kind of cult classic. Is it like an action movie, would you define it as?
Yeah, it's more action
It's
than
a more
anything else.
subtle action movie, but it involved Snake Plissken going into like a crime-infested, isolated Manhattan to retrieve the president and, you know, survive because he was injected with these, you know, pills that would kill him in 24 hours, 22 hours, whatever. So then, in 1996, because Kurt Russell and John Carpenter were out of money, they made Escape from L.A.
Yeah, and apparently his anti-crazy medicine started wearing off.
And this movie has pretty much the same plot. It involves Snake Plissken going in to rescue the president's daughter and also get rid of a doomsday device. Only, of course, this one takes place in the other major city that's often in movies, LA, not New
Los
York.
Angeles.
The movie, most people will acknowledge that this sequel was just kind of unnecessary and is crap. Where to begin with this movie, Ben? Where to begin?
The effects look terrible. Like, I'm not the kind of person that'll be like, "Ugh, that effect looks stupid," but like, and I know this is a common sort of hyperbole to say about a movie, but the effects look like they came straight out of a, like, N64 game. Like, no joke. It looked awful.
It's like Die Another Day, like surfing level bad. It looks... This movie...
Worse.
Like, if you watch this movie, throughout the whole movie, there's mad effects and there's CG vehicles that stand out easily.
They don't even try.
This whole movie, as you've become aware while watching it, just screams direct to DVD or direct to video.
But it came out in theaters. Oh, yeah. Remember that chick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She shows up in the movie for like 8 scenes, and then she dies, and I don't care.
Not even 8 scenes. She's like on screen for like 5 minutes or a little more. That's the thing. Like in this movie, okay, you got a pretty solid cast. You have Kurt Russell,
Stacy Keach,
Steve Buscemi, who I like a lot.
Cliff Robertson,
Peter Fonda.
Peter Fonda's, he's barely in the thing.
Yeah, he's not a major star anyway, but yeah, he has like 2 scenes, one of which we already mentioned was this surfing scene, which was just horrible. And there's, as Ben just mentioned, there's a bunch of characters in this movie that come and just go. Like you don't care. They serve no purpose to the story, which is barely there anyway. The movie just feels like a collection of scenes. It doesn't even have like a straight plot that you can just follow at least.
Yeah, like, I know what you're thinking, like, all movies are collections of scenes, but this one is just, like, disconnected, like...
Disjointed, yeah.
Yeah, disconnected, like, vignettes almost, except there's no beginning, middle, or end to the story. It's just like, this happened, look at it. This happened, look at it. This happened, look at that. That's all it is for, like, an hour and a half.
And a lot of scenes just don't make sense. There's a scene with Bruce Campbell, if you didn't know he was in the movie, you won't recognize at all, but he plays, what is his character?
The Surgeon General of Beverly Hills.
Yeah, and it's bizarre. Like, that scene doesn't have, it just comes out of nowhere, and it doesn't really have any purpose. It takes place in, like, it has, like, a bunch of people that have messed up facial surgeries.
It's all a joke on how everyone in Beverly Hills gets plastic surgery. So, like, it's this tribe of, like, monster people that are plastic surgeryed up and all that stuff. It's like, why is this here? The only point is so you can meet that girl, but she has nothing to do with the plot either. You can cut out an entire sequence of the movie and you'd be none the worse for wear.
It kind of comes off as just, like, forced social commentary in that sense, I guess.
So, like, not so much forced, but lazy. Really
that came to my mind too.
lazy.
Lazy, yeah.
It's super obvious and, like, really on the nose.
Bruce Campbell, if we didn't mention, is in it too. probably picking up a paycheck. Steve Buscemi definitely was picking up a paycheck to fund his directorial debut.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Fonda was probably there for like an hour or two. And Kurt Russell. Let's talk about Kurt Russell. If you didn't see our previous review, Escape from New York, he's the epitome of an '80s action hero. And in this movie, I mean, it's pretty obvious the first movie didn't really have too much depth to his character anyway. But you don't really need that for an '80s action movie. But this one, like, he just doesn't really seem smart. And, I mean, Kurt Russell, he does what he can with the material.
Yeah, nobody in the... Well, I wouldn't say nobody in this movie, but a lot of people in this movie aren't doing a bad job acting-wise.
No, there's some bad performances for sure.
Yeah, there are some bad
performances.
performances.
Just wooden.
Yeah, some wooden and some bad, but there are a lot of, like, okay ones for what they're given, but the production values and the, like, carbon copy story of the first one are what kill it. Like, there's a scene where Snake Plissken has to play basketball for his life.
I was going to mention that, yeah.
What?
It feels stupid. It just feels totally stupid. Like, why? This movie, they totally, like, copy without trying to scenes from the original movie. That scene was supposed to be, like, a different version of the fight scene, I guess, in the ring in the last one.
Yeah.
And this was directed by John Carpenter.
Yes!
I'm pretty sure he composed the movie, too, but...
Did he just give it to, like, his 10-year-old son?
It seems like after they lived, he just kind of went...
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, man?
I don't care.
John Carpenter was awesome in the 80s and I guess late 70s, too, but...
Yeah, he started in the late 70s.
What was going on? It felt like he wrote this in a day or something.
Which he might have, because he really didn't want to do a sequel to it. Kurt Russell actually pressured him into being in a sequel, or doing a sequel at all.
Yes. And you saw the CG. This movie cost $50 million.
Where did it go?
To make.
Where?
I have no idea. There was a good amount of pretty...
Were they eating lobsters on set? What happened?
And that's $50 million in 1996, by the way. It's 2013, which this movie takes place in, which is why we're reviewing it, but...
Sorta.
Sorta, but, like, I guess they were trying to go for that future technology didn't advance much after the world went to shit or something, because it does not look like, Back to the Future Part 2 or anything. But, what's strange is you mentioned that John Carpenter didn't want to make this sequel, but apparently was in development since 1985.
Yeah, it was in development hell for like 10 years.
Yeah, pretty much 10 years, actually. And it kind of becomes evident, because usually movies that are in development for so long, it depends. Like, it's pretty hit or miss.
Yeah.
But it just kind of comes off as purely for money. Like, it didn't seem like much thought or effort went into this movie. Not much creative juice is flowing.
And I swear, I saw light spill in this movie. I swear! Like, it's a final stage effect light spill in an actual movie. For those of you who don't know what light spill is, whenever somebody is moving really fast on a green screen, it's gonna leave, like, a trail on your, like, because the light from the green wall is bouncing on your arm. So, like, if you're not careful, it'll key out that part of your arm when you're doing that. But good editing software will get rid of that. So, it'll just be, like, a fine line in between you and the actual background. But, in this movie, Snake jumps onto the back of a truck, and he goes like this, and his arms and his trench coat all leave like a green line behind him. That's amateur, like complete amateur. I can't believe I saw it in an actual movie.
There's many points where, like, it just seems like they took the easy way out and was like a lazy way to lazy style of filmmaking. Like, there's a scene where Snake Plissken, I don't know what it was exactly that was going on, if you can refresh me, but him and Steve Buscemi are in the car, and it changes to, like, black and white, and, like, these weird filters.
Yeah, he was drugged.
Yeah,
Snake got drugged by Steve Buscemi, and instead of being, like a POV where he's, like, this, and then they have, like, the iris closing to be his eyelids, instead of that, we get a bunch of black and white filters, and everything goes blurry. Woo! I've never actually heard, like, terrible things about this movie, which surprises me.
People actually like it.
People are like, oh, it's good for the camp value and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
They acknowledge that it's not good, but they still enjoy it.
Yeah.
They still realize, obviously, this is inferior to the first movie.
Yeah, I didn't even understand the degree of guilty pleasure that this is. Like,
high.
Really bad.
I had never seen this movie till today, like him. I had seen Escape from New York, of course, and so has he. I guess for me, I don't know about you, but it was just like, I always heard about it, but I just wanted to see, is it one of those movies that you can enjoy for a so bad it's good feel, or is it just terrible? Is it just bad? People like their 80s B-rate action movies and their 90s B-rate action movies, but this one didn't deliver on the action front because of the terrible effects and choreography, and Kurt Russell, he's still cool, but it just doesn't, he can only give so much of a performance, and the dialogue just is bad. He gives a lot of one-liners in the movie too, which is again a staple of 80s and 90s, B-action movies that are campy. But it's just kind of stupid when those parts come up. So of course this movie bombed. I think it only made half of its budget, which is,
Which isn't surprising.
No, it's not surprising.
It's not as surprising as the actual budget.
Yeah, but apparently they had a sequel planned to this movie, which was called Escape from Earth, and I guess that would have been higher budget.
Yeah.
But
Well, I don't know if it would be.
as you can guess, Snake Plissken would have to get off Earth, and 99% of the planet is like humanity is just zombies. And you know what? That kind of sounds awesome, actually. But unfortunately, because of this movie, it's not a good indication of how good that movie would have been. And because it failed, it never happened. Zombies with Snake Plissken, that's probably what they should have done for this movie, honestly. I think I would have rather liked to see, instead of the same plot being done again, which works for some movies but not a lot, I would have liked to see them do maybe like a cross-country, like road action movie or something. Just maybe
The Road Warrior.
Maybe the same character in a different type of action movie, a different plot. Because there's plenty to choose from. Obviously, the zombie thing was being considered, but there's tons of things they could have done. Maybe he could have been in prison again. It could have been a prison escape movie. It's not a movie that's really recommended. Only see it if you don't have to pay for it. I guess some people can enjoy it on a stupid level. It is a very guilty pleasure. I didn't really. I mean, there were some scenes where I was like, my jaw dropped because of the just mediocrity of it and the terrible special effects, and stupid, silly moments with like characters and stuff.
It's just one of those movies that you just have to see. Like it has to be seen to believe. It defies all logic. Like it's like, why did they think this is a good idea? John Carpenter, yeah, it's perfect. But John Carpenter was so good in like the late 70s until like the late 80s, pretty much.
I don't know. If you were curious about seeing Escape from LA, go for it.
It's kind of the best kind of bad movie where it's memorably bad. It's not mediocre. It doesn't hang in the middle. It's just all bad all the time. If you've seen Escape from New York and you want to see more, this is not the movie for you.
It's as bad as everybody, it deserves its reputation, honestly.
I think it deserves a worse reputation because I've heard kind of good things about it. And I was actually caught off guard at how terrible it was.
So if you wanted to know what we thought of Escape from LA, that was our thoughts on it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. Anything else?
I'm still kind of pissed off about that cop-out remark. Come here.